Welcome to the LLM Battle Royale, where we're going to test to see which model performs the best. So this is our output for Gemini 2.5 Pro. So in my opinion, this output is much better than what we got from the Flash version for two reasons specifically. One, the computer side, which is the right side, is actually moving, unlike the previous output we got from the Flash version, where the computer side was completely stagnant. And second, what's actually better, ChatGPT 5 or ChatGPT 4.0, the model that we've been using for the last 2 years into the recent update to ChatGPT 5? Today we're going to be able to answer that question by utilizing the OpenAI Playground, as well as another platform called Google AI Studio, to get a look into how developers actually test to see which models best fit for the products and services they offer to clients. So in order to get to these spots, what we're going to have to do is just going to have to look them up. So if I look up OpenAI Playground, it's going to take us to this link here. We go inside of here, and we're going to get to our OpenAI Playground here, which you see. So on the left ribbon, which you see over here, this is where we're able to test different aspects of ChatGPT out. So if you wanted to test like the audio, so testing like if we want to talk to it in real time, speech to speech, we can test that here, or we could use the chat prompts, which we're going to do right now, to be able to compare different models, the inputs and the outputs that they give. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit create, and then once we get here, we can actually pick out the model that we want to compare each other to. So right here, we already have ChatGPT 5, so if we want to pick the model, we just go over and pick it here, ChatGPT 5. And then on this left side here, we have ChatGPT 4.0, but they've also got access to essentially all the other AI models that OpenAI has put out over the last few years. So let's go ahead and test these models out with our first prompt. How many R's are in the word strawberry? So this question back in the day used to trip up models all the time, and we're just going to see if either of these models get the answer right or they get it wrong. And it looks like they both got 3 R's. So in terms of performance and speed, we can actually see that ChatGPT 4.0 was faster in its response, and it got it right. But ChatGPT 5, it did take a little longer, but it still ended up getting the correct answer. So let's try something a little more complex. Let's do write me a poem about strawberries. Now let's see how long it takes each of them to write this poem out. So we can see on the right side, ChatGPT 4.0 was pretty quick in its response. Just to read the first part, in a garden where the sun does play, lies a fruit in red display with seeds that dot its tender skin. A juicy heart waits within. I guess that's pretty decent, but like I said, the speed was very fast. And if we go over here on the left side to ChatGPT 5's response, we've got, let's see, in a blue bowl, summer gathers strawberries, seeds like freckles, constellations near the skin. Bite once, a snap, then a rush of red, the tongue learning is sweet. It never quite forgets. So, I was never the best in language arts, but I can say both of them are pretty good. But just in terms of tangible performance, we can see that ChatGPT 4.0 seems to be a lot faster than ChatGPT 5. We can go into why that might be in a later session. But just in terms of speed and quality, it looks like they're both pretty good. But ChatGPT 4.0 comes out the winner in terms of speed. So let's go over to Google AI Studio. So just if we want to get over to that one, just type in simple Google AI Studio, and we click this top link here. So this is just essentially the developer platform for Google Gemini. So for those of you who don't know, Gemini is essentially like the ChatGPT for Google. A lot of people have been using it in their phones lately, but Gemini is pretty cool, and it's pretty good in comparison to ChatGPT. So if we wanted to check out the ribbon like we did on the other ones, they have the chat here, they have the stream, which again we can talk to Gemini in real time like we were able to do with ChatGPT. Generate media, so this is where we can actually test out their different image generation processes, which are, from what I've seen, very, very good, especially their video platform, Google Video, and their build section where you can build apps with Gemini, which again is pretty cool. As developers, you build apps all the time. I typically do things in AN and then bring Gemini in via an API, but Gemini has that where you can do that directly in their Google Studio portion. But just for now, we're going to compare the models just right here. And the two models that we're going to compare are Gemini 2.5 Pro, which has been advertised to be the best and most powerful model that Google offers. And then we're also going to compare that to Gemini 2.5 Flash, which It's supposed to be slightly worse than Gemini 2.5 Pro in terms of performance, but should come out to be a faster model, and we will see how that turns out. So the first question that we're going to ask it is, how many R's are in the word strawberry? And again, the reason that I'm asking this question is because for like the last 3 years, LLMs had a very, very difficult time getting this question right. Just the way that they read the prompts that they're given. But within the last 6 months, it seems that every model typically gets this question right. But if we're seeing on the right side, Gemini 2.5 Flash finished it in 1.3 seconds, and it got it right 3 R's in the word strawberry. And it took Gemini 2.5 Pro a lot longer, 17 and a half seconds to get the same answer. So you could see that it was doing a lot more thinking. So if you see the thoughts, you can actually see what it was going through to come up with the answer they got. There's a lot more thinking than Gemini 2.5 Flash, but again, they both came to the same response. But now we're going to test out their coding prowess. So this is really going to be the bigger test to see who's really the smarter model between these two. So I'm going to have them write code for us, and I'm going to take that code and put them into an editor to see what they spit out. So what I'm going to do first is let's just ask it, write me JavaScript code with inline CSS for a home page that I can simply copy and paste to the editor and start playing. Make sure to give me all of the code and consider code file. We're going to run it, and let's see who does better. So we can see already that Gemini 2.5 Flash is started giving us the code much faster than Gemini 2.5 Pro. As we can see, Pro is still thinking about the question that I asked it. Like I said, we're going to test out to see whose results are actually better. 2.5 Flash is definitely faster, but let's see who's better in terms of quality. So what we're going to do is let's test out Flash first and see who's the first one to finish. So here's the output that we got for Gemini 2.5 Flash. So as we can see, the board is pretty functional. I can move my piece on the right side. On the left side isn't moving. That's supposed to be the computer, which it should have thought about but didn't. But like I said, based off of what we see, this output looks pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and test the code for Gemini 2.5 Pro. So this is our output for Gemini 2.5 Pro. So in my opinion, this output is much better than what we got from the Flash version for two reasons specifically. One, the computer side, which is the right side, is actually moving, unlike the previous output we got from the Flash version, where the computer side was completely stagnant. And second, I just think that it's aesthetically more pleasing. So we've got the word Pong actually in the middle up top, and we can see the scores are on either side, but inside of the platform itself. So based off of everything that you guys saw, you guys tell me which models do you think perform better. And again, you guys know how to ask me any questions inside the school platform. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and have a nice day.